30. $630.
Good evening, everyone. Seeing that it is 6:30 p.m., I will call the June 8th, 2020 Planning Commission meeting to order. Let the roll reflect that all commissioners are present virtually via Zoom. Tonight's Planning Commission meeting will be held virtually by using Zoom. As chair, I will be leading the Planning Commission meeting, and the public is welcome to participate when invited throughout the meeting. If attendees experience audio problems, we suggest you leave the meeting and then rejoin. This has usually fixed the issue. Additional instructions on how to participate are posted online at www.burnsvillemn.gov and the public meeting calendar. As usual, tonight's meeting is available for viewing on BCTV and on the city's website. If you are unable to participate this evening and would like to submit public testimony, I encourage you to email your comments to city staff or mail your comments directly to City Hall. You may participate in the meeting tonight online by going to https://zoom.us/join and typing in meeting ID 979-9313-6429. Once you are logged into the meeting, please use the chat feature to tell the moderator which item you wish to speak to. You may also call into the meeting at 651-372-8299. For each public hearing, there will be an opportunity for callers to speak to that specific item, and I will provide more instructions then. Your call will be muted until that time. Please note there may be a slight delay due to differences in technology. If speaking by phone, please mute your computer since there may be a delay. So now moving on to tonight's agenda. The first item on the agenda is adoption of the agenda. Staff, any changes?
None from staff.
Commissioners, changes? Is there a motion? Nobody wants to move to adopt the agenda?
I'm trying to get in there again.
Okay. Commissioner John,
I move that we adopt the agenda.
is there a second?
Second, Commissioner Timmerman.
Okay. Any further discussion? Seeing none, can I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Awad,
Aye.
Commissioner Henderson,
Aye.
Commissioner John,
Aye.
Commissioner Roberts,
Aye.
Commissioner Timmerman.
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries. The agenda has been adopted. The second item on the agenda is to approve the minutes from the May 26, 2020 Planning Commission meeting. Staff, any changes?
None from staff.
Commissioners, any changes? Is there a motion? Commissioner Roberts,
I move to accept the minutes, approve the minutes.
Commissioner Timmerman,
Second.
any further discussion? Okay, can I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Awad,
Aye.
Commissioner Henderson, Commissioner Henderson?
Oh, I said aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mine
That's
must have
okay.
cut out. Commissioner John,
Aye.
Commissioner Roberts,
Aye.
Commissioner Timmerman.
Aye.
The motion carries. Next up on the agenda is a public hearing on the application of Ahmetshin Properties LLC for a conditional use permit amendment for an open sales rental lot use for vehicles outdoor storage and slats within chain link fencing in the B4 Highway Commercial Zoning District, preliminary and final plat of a one-lot commercial subdivision of Ahmetshin Addition located at 1608 Highway 13 West, presented by City Planner Sarah Madden.
Thank you. Good evening, Planning Commissioners. As Chair Henderson said, the purpose of this item is to conduct a public hearing related to a CUP amendment and a preliminary and final plat for an auto industry business located at 1608 Highway 13 West. Next slide, please. So this site is a 1.49 acre property that is proposed to be platted into one lot. It is one lot. It's just being platted as is, same dimensions, same boundaries. The property is within the B4 Highway Commercial Zoning District. It's also located in both the city's Drinking Water Overlay Protection District and the Gateway Design District, as it is guided as Minnesota River Quadrant in the comprehensive plan. So the business will primarily be utilized for auto repair, interior within the building, which is a permitted use in the B4 district. However, the CUP amendment is related to continued approvals for outdoor storage, as well as the auto rental and sales lot, and to use that fencing with slats in the outdoor screening area to the rear of the building. Next slide, please. So the current proposal restripes the property and for the parking area, but otherwise does not include exterior site improvements or changes. So there's a long history of CUP approvals on the site dating back to 1971 for completely different uses along the lines of restaurant. So since 1991, the site's been used for outdoor display of varying types of equipment, not directly for the sale and rental and repair of passenger vehicles, though. So in a 2006 approval, some of the past approvals for outdoor storage were rescinded and improvements were made to the site to try to bring it into compliance with the code at the time for different aspects of the zoning ordinance. Its current status would be legal nonconforming in some of these areas, as there are areas related to building perimeter landscaping, overall green space requirements that are existing and they don't meet maybe current standards for the B4 zoning district. So during that older approval, some screening elements were installed on the sides of the property for in between the neighboring properties, as well as additional landscaping in general. After restriping this lot, the site will contain 59 parking spaces. Only 30 are required for this use, but some of those, of course, will be used for vehicles for sale, which are not necessarily included in the what's customer required parking. Also in that older approval, those elements that were installed kind of became existing legal nonconforming related to the rear areas and some of the screening of the fences at that time. So this approval does include the addition of a slats within chain link fencing, which is a conditional use in our commercial and industrial zones. Currently, the fence exists as a chain link fence without slats. So this would be improving the screening of that outdoor storage area. So the west side of the building will be used for vehicles awaiting pickup by their owners, as well as for employees. That rear area is that outdoor storage area, mainly of vehicles that are awaiting repair inside the building. And there are garage bays that open up to that. And then the front parking area where there is an entrance to the building will mainly be used for the vehicles that are for sale, as well as the customers to that portion of the business operations. So next slide, please. So the property is proposed to be platted, as mentioned, into that one lot commercial subdivision, staying the same, just completely platting. It's currently unplatted, a meets and bounds legal description, and this would be formalizing as the plat of Ahmetshin Addition. So the property is adjacent on the south side to Trunk Highway 13. The application was reviewed by MnDOT, no outstanding issues with their comments. No additional right-of-way needed for Highway 13. The engineering department did add a condition that all plat requirements do conform to applicable city rules and regulations. Next slide, please. This slide shows the floor plan for the interior of the building. Not much is changing or would need approval as part of this application, but may be reviewed further by building and fire departments at the time that they come in ready to move into the location, though the use of the interior of the building for auto repair is permitted in the underlying zoning district. This does illustrate the car bays that are facing the rear of the building, as well as that office space for the auto sales and rental use, which customers would approach from the south front end of the building. Next slide, please. So some considerations here. The approval this evening is related to those three aspects of the conditional use permit amendment. So those are the land uses, the outdoor storage, and the auto sales and rental lot, as well as the use of slats within chain link fencing, which is allowed by CUP in our commercial and industrial zones, which was changed in a recent work plan item for the Planning Commission, maybe 2 years ago, 2 summers ago. The exterior of the building is not being improved outside of that restriping of the parking area, which does meet the parking ordinance. No anticipated ill effects upon the approval of this application. The use is compatible with other businesses in the area, as well as within the same lines of previous approvals on the site. So overall, staff is recommending approval. You can switch to the next slide. Approval of the application subject to these following conditions, which is that the conditions of previously approved CUPs remain in full force and effect, and that all permitted and accessory uses allowed within the B4 zone are allowed at the subject site, that no exterior signage can be installed without a sign permit application upon approval by the city, and that all plat requirements conform to applicable city rules and regulations. So this item will be a public hearing. I can stand for questions. I do believe the applicant intended to be here this evening, but I'm not sure I see him in the Zoom lobby, but I can stand for questions if necessary.
Great. Thank you, Sarah. Commissioners, any questions? Okay. Doesn't look like there are any. So with that, I will open the public hearing at 6:42 p.m. If there's any members of the public on the Zoom meeting wishing to speak, once the moderator unmutes you, please state your name and address for the record. And it doesn't appear that there is anybody in attendance, nor there's any telephone callers as well. So I will close the public hearing at 6:42. Commissioners, any other discussion? Is there a motion? Commissioner Roberts. You need to unmute yourself, please.
Of course, thank you. Nobody could read my lips. No, I think staff did a great job on this, so that's probably the reason why you don't have a lot of questions. Everything was pretty much black and white and spelled out for us. I'd like to make a recommendation that the Planning Commission take this to the City Council for approval of the application of Ahmetshin Properties LLC for a conditional use permit amendment for an open sales rental lot use for vehicles, outdoor storage, and slats within chain link fencing in the B4 Highway Commercial Zoning District. Preliminary and final plat of one lot commercial subdivision of Ahmetshin Addition located at 1608 Highway 13 West, subject to the following 4 conditions that are listed.
Commissioner John.
I'm assuming that was a motion, so I'm going to second that motion.
That was a motion, sorry.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, can I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Awad,
Aye.
Commissioner Henderson,
Aye.
Commissioner John,
Aye.
Commissioner Roberts,
Aye.
Commissioner Timmerman.
Aye.
Great. So the motion carries, and this item will be on the City Council's June 16th meeting agenda. The last item on the agenda is updates. Staff, do you have any updates?
Yes, so the next Planning Commission meeting, which was scheduled for June 22nd, we will be canceling that meeting. Following that, the next Planning Commission meeting will be July 13th, which we may be doing a hybrid version of within City Hall as well as virtual. So City Hall does open back to the public on July 1st.
Great, thank you. Commissioners, any updates? Did I ask that already? I'm sorry if I did. Oh, okay. So as a reminder, members of the public may submit additional comments relating to the items on this evening's Planning Commission meeting agenda until 4:30 p.m. on Friday, June 12th, 2020. These comments will be included with the City Council background for consideration at their next meeting. With that, is there a motion to adjourn? Commissioner Roberts,
I move to adjourn. That was a motion.
Commissioner Awad.
I move to second the motion.
Great. Any other discussion? Can I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Awad,
Aye.
Commissioner Henderson,
Aye.
Commissioner John,
Aye.
Commissioner Roberts,
Aye.
Commissioner Timmerman.
Aye.
Great. The motion is adjourned. The meeting is adjourned at 6:46 p.m. Thanks, everybody.